Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rohit. In this particular video, I'm going to discuss about iterative statements in Python programming language. So why are we using iterative statements? For example, if we want to print first 10 numbers, we basically do that by using a print function by giving print of 1, print of 2, print of 3 and so on and so forth till print of 10. But if you want to do the same task for 100 or 1000 numbers, we have to continuously give 100 times or 1000 times the same print function. In order to overcome that, what we are doing is we are using the concept of iterative statements. So what is an iterative statement? In programming, iterative statement is a statement which repeats multiple number of times until a condition is evaluated to false, which means let us say I'm having for 5 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So by using these 5 numbers, I want to separate out all the even numbers and I want to separate out all the odd numbers. In order to do that, I have to basically loop over it or iterate over it. So in order to do that, we have to use the concept of iterative statements, or these iterative statements are also called as loops. So these loops are basically categorized into two types. One is the indefinite loop and another one is a definite loop. So what is an indefinite loop? Indefinite loop is a loop which we don't know how many number of times is that particular loop going to get executed. But whereas in definite loop, we know how many number of times is that loop going to execute. So based on this, loops are again subdivided into two types. One is the for loop and another one is the while loop. So I'm going to explain you how for loop works and while loop works with a syntax and along with an example. But in order, sometimes what exactly happens is this loop will run infinite number of times, and this loop will break when the memory will become full in the buffer. Until the memory will once the memory becomes full in the buffer, then the loop breaks and stops running. So in order to control the running of the loop or the execution of the loop, we have three statements. One is the break statement, continue statement and the pause statement. What is a break statement? Break statement is used to break the execution or stop the execution of a loop by specifying a condition. Once the condition is satisfied, it is going to execute it is going to execute this break statement and it is going to stop that execution. But whereas continue, it is the opposite of break statement. Continue, what it does is whenever the condition gets satisfied, it will skip that particular iteration and it continues with the other iterations. That is how continue works. What is a pass statement? A pass statement is a statement which is used to allow the execution of a line of code when the logic is not written. So in my previous video that pertaining to conditional constructs, in that video I have said that whenever you write a condition, it may be if condition or if elif condition or if elif else condition or if else condition or nested condition, anything, it may be anything. Whenever you give us if statement, and if you don't want to write any, if you did not write any block of code beneath that, then if you want to execute that line of code, for example you want to separate out all the even numbers and the odd numbers. In order to do that, first we have to check whether that particular number is divisible by 2 or not. If that particular number is divisible by 2, then only we can say that that particular number is an even number. So here what we are doing, we are basically specifying a condition. So once after specifying the condition, if this particular condition gets satisfied, I'm going to execute a block of code. So if I did not specify that block of code which is to be executed, and if I run directly, then in that case it throws an error which I'm going to show you practically. So if we want to execute that line of code without giving any block of code under that, then in that case we use the concept of pass statement. Next comes the range function. What is a range function? A range is nothing but a built-in function in Python which allows the user to iterate over a range of numbers. And this range function takes three arguments. One is start, second is stop, Third is the step value. What is start? A start value is nothing but the value where at which point the iteration should start. And what is a stop value? A stop value is a value where the iteration should stop. And step value is nothing but by how many numbers or by how much value that iteration should jump is nothing but the step value. Now when I come to when I scroll down, well, let's talk about for loop. So what is the syntax of for loop? In conditional construct also we talk about if statement, if else statement. In that also we have talked about syntax. In the same way here also we are going to talk about the syntax of for loop as well as while loop. So for loop, the syntax here we are giving a keyword for, as we have given a keyword if in the conditional constructs. Here in iterative statements we are giving a keyword for followed by the alias name. This alias name is nothing but the alternate name. In is nothing but a membership operator, and iterable or a string. So iterable is nothing but any data structure, like it may be a list, it may be a tuple, or it may be a dictionary, which I am going to discuss in my upcoming videos. So iterable or a string. So here alias name is nothing but the alternate name which is given to this iterable or a string. Next then I am printing the alias name. So if I want to print the first 10 numbers, that is from 0 to 10, what I do is for uh, this Rohit is nothing but the alias name. It can be your name or it can be anything but except it should not be numbers. For Rohit in range of 11, why am I giving 11? So as I want to print from 0 to 10, I am giving it 11. So you may get a doubt. So here I am printing the first 10 numbers, but in the range function I am giving the start value as 11. Why? So as we all know that Python follows zero based indexing. When it goes from left hand side to the right hand side, it follows zero based indexing. And whenever we only specify the start value, this particular start value is exclusive. So here in order to print the values from 0 to 10, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, in that we have to give a value plus 1 as a start value, so as this value is inclusive. So when so what it does is it will iterate this Rohit 10 number of times, and at the 11th number of time, as it is exclusive, it stops and comes out of the loop. So for Rohit in range of 11, print of Rohit. When I'm going to print the value of Rohit, it is going to print all the 10 first 10 numbers, that is from 0 to 10. Now if I want to control the execution of this particular loop, then I'm going to use the statements like break, continue and pass. So here break is here I'm going to show you the same example with the help of a break statement. So I'm again trying to print all the 10 numbers, that is from 0 to 10, and here I'm specifying a condition where if the value of Rohit is equal to 5, then break the loop. So what it is going to do is it is the value it is going to check whether this value of in the first iteration it is the first iteration the value of Rohit will be 0, as Python is 0 based index. The first value of Rohit will be 0. It is going to check whether this value of Rohit is equal to 5 or not. As this is not equal to 5, it is not going to execute this statement. It is going to come to this print statement and is going to directly execute this statement, and it is printing 0. In the same way, this in for loop there is advantage that the value of that particular alias variable gets incremented automatically. So now the value of Rohit becomes 1. It is again going to check whether 1 is equal to 5 or not. As 1 is not equal to 5, as 1 is not equal to 5, then it is going to print the value of Rohit, that is 1. It is going to check for similarly for 2, 3 and 4. Now when the value of Rohit becomes 5, it is going to check whether the value of Rohit is equal to 5. So 5 is equal to 5, yes. So it is going to stop the loop there itself, and it is going to print the numbers before it, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I give 6, it is going to print till 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when it comes to continue, what continue does is whenever the value of Rohit is equal to 5, Rohit becomes 5, when the value of Rohit becomes 5, it is going to skip that particular number 5 and it is going to continue the execution of the loop. So here according to the output we can see that 0 1 2 3 4, but 5 is skipped, and it is coming it is printing all other numbers like 6 7 8 9 and 10. Now pass. So in order to understand pass statement better, let us consider I want to print for I in range of 11, for I in range of 11. So I want to print this, but I'm not giving uh, any statements beneath this. I'm not giving any logic behind this. So but if I directly try to execute this, it is going to throw a syntax error, that is unexpected end of file while parsing. So it is the Python interpreter is expecting some logic under this. So for example, if you use a conditional construct like if statement also, if Rohit is double equal to 5, then if I also try to execute this also, it is going to throw the same error. Why? Because it is expecting the logic behind this, but you don't know what logic to be enter, or you don't want to enter any logic behind this. Then in that case you can use the pass statement in order to execute only this line of code. So whenever you try to execute this, it gets executed successfully. Next, next coming to the for loop with the start value and the stop value. Till now I have explained you the for loop with only the start value. Now I am introducing the stop value as well. So here the 0 is nothing but the start value, and here is not 11 is nothing but the stop value. And according to index, when we were discussing about indexing or slicing in strings, we know that the starting index is inclusive and ending index is exclusive. So here it is going to iterate from 0, and it is going to till 11, but 11 is exclusive. So what it is going to do, so 0 to 11, so it is going to iterate automatically. When the value of Rohit is becomes equal to 5, then it is going to break the loop and it is going to print the value of Rohit. Same with the same start stop value but with this continuous statement. Now I'm introducing all the three arguments, that is the start, stop and the step value. So step value, what it does is, step value, it is going to take, so whenever I execute for Rohit in range of 0 comma 11, print of Rohit, it is going to execute 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. But here I specified a step value of 2. So what it is going to do is, it is going to skip, or it is going to jump, or it is going to print each and every alternate number from 0 to 10. So if I give the step value of 2, it is going to it is going to skip one number each. Why? Because as Python is zero based indexing, we have to give an index plus 1. So what it does is, if I give 3, it is going to skip two numbers in between and it is going to print. So if I give 2, it is going to, when I run this, it is going to print the multiples of 2 or every alternate number within the range of 0 to 10. If I give 3, then it is going to skip two numbers in between and it is going to print every third number, that is the multiple of 3. So this is how a step value works. It is going to jump the number of times as the step value. So if it is 3, it is going to jump 2 twice. If it is 2, it is going to jump once. If it is if the value of step is equal to 4, then it is going to jump 3 numbers in between. Now coming to the while loop. In for loop, the the values get incremented automatically. But whereas in while loop, we have to explicitly increment the value of that particular variable. So here also, as far as while loop is concerned, here we are giving a keyword while, and we are also giving a alias name less than the value. Here the value is basically is nothing but the number of times that particular loop should run. That is why the while loop is known as the definite loop. Why? Because here we are explicitly giving how many number of times that particular loop has to run. And here we are specifying a condition. Here we are, so not a condition, here we are basically giving um, a variable that is a alias variable, and we are instantiating to a value. And while using this while check so by using this alias variable, what we are doing is we are checking whether this value is less than this value or not. If this value is less than this value, then it is going to print the variable. Then after printing it, then it is going to increment it. So here I have taken a value as 0 and I'm going to run it for 10 times. So while a less than 11, so as a value is 0, it is going to check whether 0 is less than 11 or not. Yes, as it is less than 11, it is going to print the value of a, that is 0. Then a plus equal to 1, which is nothing but a is equal to a plus 1, sorry, a plus 1. So it is going to increment the value of a by 1. You can also write this by using the assignment operator. So this is plus equal to is nothing but the assignment operator. So plus equal to tells us but it is incrementing the value of that particular variable by 1 and storing the incremented value in the same variable that is a here in this case. So a is equal to 0. So now with the after incrementing, the a value becomes 1. So it gets incremented and it will print all the numbers. Once the a value will become 11 as 11 is not less than 11, then it is going to come out of the loop. These are the different iterative statements present in Python programming language, and I am going to upload this notebook in my GitHub, and the link for the same will be given in the description of this particular video. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe the channel if you have not subscribed, and hit the bell icon for more notifications and videos. Stay safe, keep learning, and keep growing. Bye bye.